Okay, so wow, this drawing took a lot more time than I really intended it to do. I ended up doing the whole landscape, like buildings and everything. I guess it's as close as it's gonna get. Regardless, I thought it came out pretty good. I ended up just filling up the entire half of the page from the bottom end, and I kind of thought about doing the entire page, but I was a little pooped after a while because I think this drawing spanned about 3 days. Collectively, it was probably about 2.5 hours long, and it was a little easier getting this one edited and onto my computer because I finally bought myself an adapter to connect my SD card into my Mac from my camera. I was trying to figure it out for the longest, and after I looked it up, I realized that I need to buy another adapter. It's insane. These Macs, I don't get them. Why they gotta be so complicated? I mean, maybe there's some like advantage to just having C ports and like the detachables, or I don't know. I'm not completely sure about the whole specifics about it, but to me, it seems like a huge inconvenience, and just Apple just trying to make more money off of, just accessories. But I don't know, maybe there is some advantage to it. None that I can think of, at least. But then again, I know nothing about computers. It took me a while to just figure out this very basic, like, editing stuff. So I am not one to judge any kind of technology, I guess. But yeah, so I got that, and it's made it a lot easier now that I don't have to actually download the videos from my camera to my phone and then put those videos onto my computer and use those to edit. It's a lot easier. Expensive, but easier. Okay, so let's see. I bought a new book recently. I thought, right now is a good time to get back into reading. I used to read a lot, back in high school, but I kind of stopped a little bit, because then school got in the way and then work got in the way, and I just never really had any kind of time for it. And the moments that I do have time to, just relax, I kind of just want to watch TV, or, I'll draw, or I'll do literally anything besides read. And I miss it, and now that I recently just bought this new book, I've started to get into it, and it reminds me of why I like reading. It's interesting, like the way books can be written. There's just so many different perspectives you can take it from, like first person, second person, third person. And I feel like it completely changes the way the story is being told. And on top of that, the actual stories themselves. And anyways, right now I'm reading Catcher in the Rye. I've heard a lot about that book. So much. I heard that it was banned in the US for a while. It was a book that Chaplin was reading before he killed Lenin. And I've just so many things about this book, and I have no idea what it's about. I've never heard any kind of summary about it, never heard anyone talk about it, and it's always intrigued me. And I ended up going to Barnes and Nobles the other day, and I saw it, and it was the last copy that they had there too. So I was like, you know what, it seems like a sign for me to buy this book right now. Maybe I should just check it out. And I've been reading it. It's pretty interesting so far. Haven't really seen anything too controversial yet, I guess. Honestly, I don't even know why it was banned in the first place. I mean, there kind of probably was some like background to the book or the book itself, but right now I'm still just figuring that all out. It seems pretty interesting so far, at least. Like I feel like I have to get more into it before I have an opinion on it. But as of now, it's pretty good. And I've been trying to find times in between my days to read it, especially in the morning time. I feel like is the time that I'm most productive, I guess. So I try to take like an hour or two to read, or like do my drawings and stuff. And I think after 12 o'clock is my cutoff, and then I'm just doing whatever after that. I try to give myself about a couple hours of like creative time, and then I'll probably go to the gym, and then after that it's ball game. I can do whatever I want, I guess. uh I kind of feel a little guilty though, because I usually hate starting new books without finishing my last. And I do have another book that I read for a while, and it's just been sitting in my room. It's a huge book. It has like almost, I think, like 1,200 pages, and I'm so close to finishing it. I just can't get over that last part of it. I'm literally like at the last 200 pages, and it's just every time I get into it, I'm intrigued, but I lose it. And it's just, it feels time consuming, but at the same time, it's like, you should take the time to read a book every once in a while. I feel like books are very interesting because they just have so much substance, and it's really hard to censor books. So I feel like an author has a lot of freedom to really say whatever they want, and I think the hardest part would probably be just getting something published and be out in the public. But even that, like, I feel like it's not too difficult to write something, and whoever wants to read it can read it. But I was just really into reading. I read a ton of books, and I think if I were to pick an author that I can go back to all the time, it'd definitely be Stephen King. That man, gifted writer. I've tried other authors, and not really many of them strike a chord. Like, I've read multiple books from a specific author multiple times, and I kind of get a little tired out, like, of their writing styles, because after a little while, it kind of becomes a little repetitive. Like, I've read multiple Dean Koontz books, and he's a really good writer too, and he has really good stories, but after like the third and fourth, it just seemed pretty formulaic. Yeah, I can't say that word. I'm not even gonna attempt it again either, but you know what I mean. It just seems a little repeating. Like, he found what works and kept going at it, but at the same time, like, he has more than 4 books. I'm pretty sure some of them are different, but just the ones I was picking out just seemed kind of similar, and I just lost interest. But when it comes to like Stephen King books, they do feel like almost like the same book, but at the same time, it's always different in some way, or at least it feels different. Sometimes he has repeating characters. He usually has a writer in a lot of his books as a character, or like Small Town Cop. He usually has a lot of those, but there's a twist to it mostly, and I can get behind that. I don't know. Just storytelling is very interesting, and I feel like you can learn a lot because you have so many different kinds of perspectives of people's inner monologues. Like, in movies, for example, it's really difficult, I feel like it is, to get into a character's head because you don't have a narrator. You don't have anything that speaks out loud about what the character's thinking and everything. But like in a book, an author can spend like 2-3 pages straight about how conflicted a character is, and you get more of an impactful feeling towards their decisions and things they do, and it gives you a perspective on other things too. It's, I don't know, I'm not sure how to explain it too well, but I do think that's the reason that a lot of books that are transferred to movies are just not as good, because you expect so much of the book's material to be in the movie, I guess, but there's just so much you can't put into a movie. At least you can, but the problem is it doesn't sink in like a book does. Like if you are trying to put imagery into a book and you try to translate that into a movie, you can spend pages and pages describing a room and it will seem like it's coming to life. But you put that in a movie, it's what, a couple frames, like you see the room for a little while and that's it. You don't really get the feel of it like you usually do in a book. I don't know. I'm going on a rant now, but my point is that I think it's important to take time to read, even though sometimes it feels like you're wasting time. Or I've always heard that people have an issue doing it because, they read the same page over and over, and it's just, it doesn't retain, which I completely understand. I've definitely had that issue. I have no idea where I'm going with this, but the drawing's about done. So yeah, this is my landscape drawing. I hope it looks like buildings. I'm not completely sure. I'm hoping those lines at the top look like telephone poles. And there it is. Had fun with this one. It was really cool. I've done one like this before, but I never really liked it too much. It did seem interesting and fun, but I never came back to doing another one. And this idea just kind of popped in my head last minute, so I thought I might as well. So yeah, again, if you hung out this long, maybe try subscribing or liking the video. I'm not sure how to ask for that kind of stuff. It feels really uncomfortable for me, but hey, you're here. You might as well, I guess. Or don't. I don't know. Do what you want. But it'd be pretty cool. Thanks for watching.